Okay, so let's get started. This is gonna be the first of two sessions for the downtime of Arc 2. So we have a few scenes to handle before we get right into it. So, I think the first thing is gonna be the handling of the handover of power and the new Primogen meeting. So, I think it makes sense to start with either Epic or Bacon. Bacon, do you want to play out the meeting with Kurt?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. In that case, as you are scouting out new locations for the Warrens, scouting out new traps, one of the kids is gonna tell you that, by the way, like, the sheriff is up there, he wants to talk with you.
Yep, I'm coming right now.
Okay. Kurt is probably like sitting on something, tapping his foot impatiently by the time you show up.
Hello, Sheriff.
Hello, Aluasei. So, how's it going?
Not that fine. We just lost our Primogen.
Yeah, I was told about that. So, just out of curiosity, why?
I think it was consequences of the whole dispute with the Toreador.
Yeah. I actually talked with the Justicar, and she told me that it was your testimony that damned the Primogen.
Yeah, while I was talking, she just decided to get up and run. I didn't understood very well. I was trying to take the fault for me, but I think that she saw as her consequences and she tried to take for the clan.
Right. Bacon, give me a luck roll to see if this is before or after he learned to actually make Mythosaria work.
But I'm telling you guys, it isn't a lie. It was the purpose of what was I speaking.
At
It
the
was an
time, but
accident.
after the time afterwards you realized how it got interpreted. I think was what we decided. So at the time you intended for it to be understood like that.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
So, what are you guys doing now?
Trying to find a new place, fortify, run away from the watching again.
Right.
We are probably reappearing in a few decades.
So, here's the thing. I've talked with Vivian, and there might be a rearranging of leadership. so you might not need to exactly run away from her.
Are you deposing her?
Not exactly. And she would still... She would still be close to the top. But she wouldn't be the prince.
Okay, I set up with my clan the whole... it was actually Vivian as a bad prince that let us fall and not talking with our primogen. So I think that it can work if she doesn't stay in power. I think I can help her with that.
Does this
Okay.
work?
Yes.
Sorry, just voice. Go.
So, it comes down to a simple question. Are you willing to support me? I would expect you to not keep this feud with the Toreador going, but you would not lose the things you stand to lose otherwise, like your primogen seat and whatever domains you have been granted.
Yeah, it perfect sense. My intention was to eventually end the feud, as seems that it was something bad. I had no idea that we were doing so much shit.
Always say, given your great wisdom and your connection to the Nosferatu Information Network, which you no doubt have, I would like to offer you a position of an advisor to regularly speak with me so we can discuss our plans among ourselves.
Oh, good. I accept that.
Yeah. You know, just don't take this the wrong way, but talk to me before you do anything else, just in case you're missing something again.
Okay. Just one doubt that I had some while ago, and I was a bit on the edge. It's fine to be obfuscated in Elysium.
Yeah, I was gonna address that. That's not gonna be the case anymore. That's one of the things I intend to forbid. The only disciplined use is gonna be me, the seneschal, or anything permitted by the keeper.
Okay, yeah. That's good to know. I got the feeling on the last time that I was wrong.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
That
well, there is gonna be a Primogen meeting. I will save a seat for you. You are welcome to attend, and he gives you like a couple weeks away, time and place. You'll have some others to speak with, so you know, you may you may proceed with rearranging your plans. It might be better not to move out of here. I believe one of your clan members would really love to see another werewolf end up coming down here. And I've heard some rumors about there being more of those fucks around.
ooh, yeah, also wanted to say that.
Right.
Thank you, Sheriff. We'll meet again.
Right. Okay then. I'll see you later then. Yeah, and really just try not to fuck up again at least for a month or two, let things quiet down.
Yeah, my plan will lower the surface activity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, good. In terms of the werewolf stuff, I think news has got back to Kurt that there is a big thing coming with them to some extent. He just doesn't know how bad it is yet. So, next up, Kurt is gonna show up to talk with Vivian. This would be close to the meeting.
Okay. Welcome, Kurt. What did you need?
Well, Vivian, I have visited the Primogen and I do believe I have the support I need. I have arranged a Primogen meeting in a few days and I hope we would be able to hold it here.
Of course.
And I'm also wondering if you would object to me establishing order right from the outset, and if you have kept Alan's chair.
Did I go and get rid of his chair? I don't remember. I think I might have.
I'm not sure. I know that Alan tried to break into the place to get it back, and you secured it.
Yes, I had plans to get rid of it, and then Alan actually went to try and grab it, and I forgot about it after that.
I think so. I think it's just forgotten in a storage space somewhere.
I think it's in storage. We'll have to get somebody to grab it.
Good, good. I think we should include a few other people in the meeting. Other than Primogen, by invitation, Benjamin, William, maybe that Gregory dude. He's been doing a lot of talking, I hear. Rumors spread.
That's all up to you. If we, it shouldn't really matter too much. Getting more people to see about getting the new prints and everything forward is more than fine. Just, would you be thinking of doing this on a permanent basis, or just for the particular meeting?
Well, we both know that there are people in the city other than the Primogen Council who hold a disproportionate amount of influence. So, making sure that we are, at the very least, keeping them close where we can see if they are starting to act crazy and suspicious might be a good idea.
I do agree with it being a good idea. It isn't commonly done in most of the Camarilla places to have the prince require the presence in that kind of way.
Oh,
That's the
Andy
only
told me about
downside I
this.
can really see.
See, what you're supposed to do, the way he tells me, is make it seem like rewards. You tell them that they're an advisor or a valued member of the community, so that it's not like stay next to me so I can keep my eye on you, and it's more I value your advice.
Yes. I would just make sure you are aware that it could end up resulting in some more shifty eyes from outside the city. But other than that, I can't see a real downside to it, so.
Oh, Christ. Of course there's... Okay.
Yep. If you want to go through with it, there's no issue.
Well, let's run it down. There's Neville, who was Alan's buddy slash enemy. It's hard to tell, right? No,
Generally.
I think he's gonna view us with shifty eyes, whatever we do.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Houston, and there is I know there's at least one went through Prince near. There's some others. It should be manageable.
I have a way to try and get in contact with Houston if needed, and maybe can see about making sure things are okay that way. Besides that, I don't think Wolfram's close, right? Out of character. Wolfram's not very close.
Wolfgang is not close.
Yeah,
He is-
Wolfgang's not close at all.
Well, I keep hearing things about werewolves supposedly becoming more and more active. So I think that at least for the very first meeting, we want those people there, and Gregory is definitely involved with that. So it's gonna be more than just a handover of power meeting. We need to start making plans and figure out how big the threat is.
Yep, I just wanted to make sure you were aware of the possible complications of getting advisors in that way to the Primogen. At least, for an extended period.
Well, not necessarily to the Primogen, but I want to effectively... Oh, let's put it this way, I want them where I can use my abilities to make sure they're not lying to me or plotting in some way. I just... William in particular, I do not want him sitting in the chantry coming up with some plans. I want him out here where we can keep an eye on him.
Yes, very understandable, and it is and making sure that it's seen as a reward is a good way to make sure that they aren't going to be feeling anything particularly bad about the situation. All right. Everything's up there. Get the chair.
Just one more matter. Do you have any ideas of who would make a good sheriff since the spot is going to be open?
Let's see. Good sheriff.
I have talked with Mitchell, but I'm not sure he would necessarily want the job from what I got from what he wants, and I get the feeling he's not entirely comfortable with joining the local establishment more intimately, given how he seems upset about what happened when Alan resigned. He feels like he got cheated.
I mean, Alan resigning came from left field for about everybody, I believe.
Yeah, certainly did for me.
Yep, definitely me too. I was putting some things into the works, and suddenly that happened, and things had to accelerate a lot.
Yes. Well,
Let's see. Good people for sheriff. What kind of sheriff would you be looking for in that matter, then, particularly?
well, someone who has the brains to try and de-escalate conflicts between clans, because I think we've had enough of those.
That cuts down a decent amount of the more. Probably someone that's somewhat decent at combat, maybe?
Well, that again points towards Mitchell then, but we're gonna have to convince him in some way that it's worth his while.
Nosferatu. I mean, Alawasi could make a pretty decent one, but I don't think he'd de-escalate things.
No,
Not for that part.
No, he actually sold out his Primogen without even realizing he was doing it.
Yeah, definitely not. Let's see. That leaves Tremere, Toreador. Don't know if any of the independents particularly seem to want to do anything like that.
Rather not Toreador, or rather not Tremere. Toreador maybe.
I don't think there's too many left. Most of the Malkavians usually have issues.
Yeah, I've no.
I suppose that would leave. I think that's just the Toreador, unless you wanted to see about making the Ventru into one Primogen over one sheriff, or vice versa.
I'm not sure Billy is cut out for it. He's good at dealing with people, but he needs direction to investigate things properly.
Yeah, I think that just leaves anyone you think would be decent on the Bruja. Don't see them around too often. The Gangrel are still reeling at the moment.
Well, the Gangrel I've talked with, and they've agreed to stay and help with whatever happens with the werewolves, unless it gets either really, really boring or insanely dangerous, or they find something more fun to do.
Well, in that case, one of the Toreador. I don't know how well Justin does things. Marcella generally doesn't seem interested in political positions. I don't know too much about civil. She saw about helping me at one point, but
yeah.
Do you think Andrew would go for it?
See, Andrew, I could trust Andrew to try and keep the order, except with the Nosferatu. Andrew is, I think, gonna be very, very angry with them for a long time. So if we do that,
I wouldn't blame him.
Then we are gonna have... We're not gonna have the Nosferatu supporting us. They might say they do, but effectively they're not gonna.
I mean, I'm not sure what support the Nosferatu currently really brings besides maybe traps.
Well, if the werewolves are gonna use the base they already have, then having a bunch of Nosferatu laying traps, or fucking with the animals in the swamps to attack wolves is not a bad idea. I hear Archie managed to kill one in gator form, so if they start using the gators against them, it could be pretty useful. And in any case, it's a matter of perception.
The only one I currently know that can do stuff, particularly in a coherent kind of way, is Aluwasi. Yeah, tough to tell, but
yeah, not him. Sergio, he's certainly a fighter, and he has some idea of how to properly run an investigation, but he gets carried away by the fighting part of the job. I think honestly, Mitchell might be the best option. Andrew is just gonna... He wants revenge for his furniture. By all accounts, that's... He's gonna end up doing something. I'd rather not have the clan that's closest to the werewolves just not being on the team, not working together, that could be a real problem.
I'm just mildly worried about having Mitchell become sheriff. He hasn't really said why he is so intent on being Ventrue. I'm not sure if something happened in his past or something. And most people with
Actually,
any kind of...
given how old you are, you would know with two politics that the proper La Sombra hunt the anti-tribute relentlessly.
Well, Sheriff is actually a bit more open than Primogen, surprisingly.
Okay, so we have two really good candidates. What would fit for this second here? Andy, but Andy wants to rebuild his clan, so Andy's gonna be busy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
If we want
Jeanette, but that concentrates a lot of power in Malkavian's hands, which I could live with, but which again might make people question the situation.
Thing is, I think we probably want Mitchell, especially because he's the one that was particularly about forming the Independents as an actual faction, to focus his efforts on trying to do that. That way we don't end up with a lot of people just not being able to be relied upon in the city when they could be doing better.
Yeah, I suppose that's the thing.
We
Well,
put him as sheriff, he's not going to have much time for that.
well, if Daniel didn't have a history of spending some of his time in Sabbat cities, I would recommend him. He could probably do the job. And if he's staying, then, you know, he should be a decent pick, but so you're thinking Andrew?
I'm tempted to go for that, partly because it would also show supporting of the Toreador without having to do too much, as well as giving them a way to try and get back, preferably without too much excessiveness at the Nosferatu for their previous actions.
And
maybe we can try and diffuse it slowly that way.
And if it was something we were offering Benjamin, I think it would work. I just don't think Andrew has the temper to make it work. Okay. Well. I suppose the best choice at the moment might be to have the meeting and see if... Yeah, no, that doesn't really work. I'd rather have a candidate in place. Make things a lot more stable right from the outset. We could pick someone.
Yes, definitely. Otherwise, it will seem like things are going a lot more in the air again. See. Particular. We have people that match up different parts of this, but we don't have people that match up very well to most parts.
I mean, honestly, I had to
Generally
fill in
nice,
gaps
yeah.
in my own skills with my hounds anyway, so whoever ends up taking ours is gonna have to do the same. Okay, let's look at it from a
So you're
different
trying. So I
perspective.
suppose we should prioritize people that can think pretty clearly.
Yeah.
I
So-
suppose we could see about doing one of the newcomers with the Toreador.
Yeah, but
That
they're
would work out.
largely unknown is the thing.
I know that Sybil seems to be particularly about caring for things like, life, virtue, stuff like that. And I think Benjamin seems pretty level-headed. He managed to do pretty well with what happened to him.
Well, I suppose before the meeting we should invite Benjamin here, and if he's not willing to take it, I guess we should go with Andrew then. If he's willing to agree to be
I
fair to
think we
us.
might be able to try and rein Andrew in if he's going to push it too far.
I
But I
don't
think
know.
this is a pretty decent idea.
He showed me the purchase order for one of those couches. I'm not sure how we are going to be able to rein him in. That was a lot of numbers.
Wait, when did the Toreador get that many numbers? Yeah, I think maybe seeing if Benjamin can see about doing it might be for the best.
Okay. Demi.
Yep.
You are gonna get an invitation to visit the Princess Tower.
Gladly accept.
And I
Just
think
need-
by then, Kurt is gonna be there, sitting behind the meeting table, with Vivian by his side, in the big chair.
Vivian has what appears to probably be some kind of child chair. It raises her up to about chin height.
God damn it.
Although it does look like it has been made intentionally more adult looking, that is probably its origins.
Probably placed a rush order. Actually, Epic, give me how much resource do you still have the use of, given your purchase
Or
of...
at the moment?
Okay, so does Kurt. Roll your resource rating at 6 for me.
That changes the moment downtime is initiated. But at the moment,
Yeah. So there have been subtle improvements to both chairs. You think you detect artfully applied gold leaf? Probably like a rush order with the Truja. Please make this suitably impressive for the new regime. So it's just like a long walk towards the table, with them just sitting there and waiting.
Definitely a slow walk. Yeah, of course, bow, then bow once more when coming to sit down.
There's 3 people behind the thrones. Forming a guard.
Am I in danger? This sounds familiar.
Benjamin, you're near Dougal. You take a guess.
You're English.
Help. Help.
But yeah, I'm just going to go and I presume it's sitting down right here.
Oh no, Curtis
Yep.
has moved it around so that his seat is facing the door.
Oh. This is retarded. Yeah, it's fuck off.
Benjamin, please take a seat.
Thank you.
So, on to why we summoned you here. As you're aware, there is gonna be a rearranging of leadership, and the sheriff spot is gonna be open. For
Continue.
the little time that I know you, you have shown that you are a man of self-control, restraint, and reason, and I would like to hope that that is more than just an impression. So how would you feel about that spot being offered to you?
I am most welcome to being offered the spot of sheriff, but I would have to politely decline. I do not feel as if the sheriff. I do not feel any interest towards the sheriff's position, especially with a hindrance such as mine as well.
I see. Do you have any other candidates that might be suitable on your mind since you're here?
How much of the city do I actually know to this point? A fair bit.
You've probably met most everyone at least once in passing, but your circle is mostly Toreador and Tremere, people that you actually, interact with meaningfully.
Right. Well, in terms of what I'm more aware of in terms of personalities and abilities, my clan, at least, is filled with young individuals who seem more preoccupied with their own personal dealings, with maybe the exception of perhaps Andrew, who seems to be more focused on the clan, but he already occupies the Primogen seat. And from who also I know could potentially be Alexandra of the Tremere, but she also occupies librarian. If she would be able to perhaps find room, then perhaps. But other than that, I cannot see somebody who can fully occupy the needed requirements for sheriff.
Alright, well, thank you for coming today, and I hope you will attend the Primogen meeting in a couple of days.
Of course. I'll stand up, bow, and, bow to, each both Kurth and Vivian, and then, proceed to leave with Sam.
Okay, when you drive back to Elysium, you're getting out, you see Kurt's child. Just get out and head upstairs with the letter in his hands, right there with you.
I'm just going to put, a small smile on and continue up.
Mm-hmm.
Vivian would just, after he's gone, just mention, well, it was a polite refusal.
Yes, I didn't have high hopes.
Nah, not me either. And I doubt the librarian would actually want to see about becoming anything outside the chantry. The only Tremere I think would even accept would be Michelle.
Oh, yes, her. Well, actually, now that you mention it, let's consider it.
I think it actually sounds like a pretty decent idea. As far as a person goes, at least.
I haven't had many dealings with her. I had considered her for Hound, but...
She seems to have a lot of friction among the rest of Clan Tremere. Other than that, she seems pretty adept at
He snaps
generally
his fingers.
doing what
That
she needs to do.
is perfect. That is perfect. Vivian, just, could you, like, telepathy Vincent, tell him to come back?
I will attempt a telepathy. Winston, come back.
Vincent comes back. You meet him coming down with a compute down the stairs, Danny. With a confused look on his face. This is perfect. It lets us watch William more closely. It gives us someone who's grateful for him not having his claws in her. And it gives us someone who can do the job by all reports. And she's not completely unknown.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty decent idea.
Okay. Okay. So sometime later.
Wasn't she like a fledgling when we started?
No,
or
she was one of the guardians of the Chantry.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
She's their Auspex prodigy. You're gonna fuck Jackalour out of his stealth detection. She walks in and you see growing confusion as she takes in the chairs and the positioning. Is there something I should...
I'll give her a small wave while she comes up here.
Right, is there something I... Kurt just interrupts her. Michelle, so as you might or might not have heard, there is going to be a handover of power. In a few days, in fact. Visible confusion growing. So, I was wondering how you would feel about the position of sheriff, which is becoming vacated. So, okay, I'll get straight to the point. I will offer you the position if you want it. You don't have any enemies, as far as I know. And this would give you the opportunity to not only serve the city, but more importantly, not be under William's thumb now that he's back. I think I need to make a charisma leadership role for Kurt. I think the appropriate difficulty might be what? Like a 5? 4?
Might be a 4.
God damn it. Okay then. But you know there's like a bunch of werewolves coming, right? Like a fuck ton of them.
That shouldn't be a particular part of your particular duties. Most of what we need you to do is make sure the city is functioning.
Yeah, no, you have me sold. I do not want to be inside there when the assault comes. Fuck William. Having my face cloud open again is not my idea of a good time. No, thank you. I had enough of that with the Sabbat. Yeah, no, I'm in, guys.
Okay.
I'm with you. 100%.
All right. I think we found our sheriff.
Okay then. And I think what would be a good way to try and pass on anything she might need to know about managing people?
I think Vivian can actually see about helping with this, but let's look at what's available.
I think give me like an intelligence
Might be
empathy.
charisma expression.
No, just give me an intelligence empathy to try and explain to her what she needs to take into account first of all when dealing with people's feelings, and Kurt will try to explain like the politics side of it and how he wants that handled.
Alright, let's bring this all up.
Wow. Wait, no, that
What?
is the wrong amount, I think. Is it? I need to double check. Shit. Well, it would be like one success because he would be spending willpower on it. There's no fucking way he wouldn't. Fucking up the sheriff possession would suck.
Would this count as a conversation and stuff? Could I use my power?
To help her understand? Yes, I'll
Yes.
allow it.
Alright. I don't know the difficulty, whether or not you want to tell me. Up to you.
For it's 6 for manipulation subterfuge.
Alright. So I will add 6 to my roll. 1, 2, 3, 9, 15. Any difficulty debuffs?
Not really, no, you're trying to give her a rundown of how to handle generally the people in the city or any newcomers and, how to effectively be a people person like you.
Yep. Okay. I don't think gaining trust would help then.
Not really. Sheriff isn't someone you trust.
That's kind of what I felt too. That's why I said it probably doesn't count here. Alright, so just a straight roll.
Mm-hmm.
Just a 1.
What?
Okay then, so this is going great already.
We'll have time. Hopefully we can make it a little bit better, but it does seem like teaching her the initial part isn't going very well.
Well, effectively this means that you cannot negate the, her needing to learn on the job and adapt. She's gonna have to, she's not gonna hit the ground
Gonna have to
running.
learn a bit.
Yeah. Well, luckily I still haven't applied her XP, so I can give her a dot in politics. And considering how
That'll
much
help.
political crap she's dealt with, I think that's reasonable. But yeah, Auspex, Dominate, Thaumaturgy, and Obfuscate is a good set for Sheriff.
It is. Alright.
Okay.
There's a new sheriff in town. Yay.
Okay. So, other than that, Jackalor, you're gonna get invited to a private meeting as well. Except he's away. So.
Yep.
Gregory.
Yeah.
You get invited to a private meeting.
Not so.
Sorry, you cut out there.
Right. Yeah, let's just call this learning how to use push to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
It's called trading up, Demi. The less annoying player has gotten a better mic. So, Yeah, well, don't worry about it. It sometimes happens. So assume that when you leave the chantry, if you are attending,
Yes, I'm attending and hopefully take some level of. Oh god.
I assume your ghouls are
Going with-
loaded down with silver just in case.
Yes, and seeing if there can be any level of provision of can we do this meeting at the Chantry? Can we do this meeting somewhere with guards?
Answers are no. Get over here.
Fuck you! Werewolves are trying to kill me.
You know, honestly,
They're trying to kill everybody. Get here.
Me
Honestly-
especially.
I think the way this works out is that you send the letter back, and it's just like Bren and Dougal that arrived to escort you to your meeting.
Okay, Dougal's there. That's fine. That is fucking fine. Even though probably not doesn't like me, don't like him. At least he actually has a fucking chance if a werewolf appears. Well, Gregory has a chance to get away if a werewolf appears while it's eating Dougal.
Lambert, give me a luck roll.
Yay! Nicely average.
Okay. So you just notice some spirit thing watching you from the sky. When you look around, just it's still circling you when you get out of the car at the tower. They're definitely watching
Well,
you.
no fucking play then. This is going to get bad. This is possibly going to get bad.
But your escorts take you in, and there, on a child seat and on what is almost but not quite a throne, sits Kurt.
Timing, Jackalaw, timing.
Welcome, Gregory.
Okay. Go to bow and say, to what do I owe this pleasure of a meeting?
To the werewolves who you have managed to piss off.
Did he say how many? Or I didn't catch the first bit of the sentence.
Thanks to the werewolves that you have managed to piss off.
Oh right, thanks to, right.
So, I'm gonna want you to explain everything of note. Preferably sticking to the facts and things
this
of
meeting
substance.
again. We already had this meeting.
We had a discussion, but the sheriff is here, the new sheriff, Vivian, and other people who will probably be involved with dealing with the problem. I want to make sure that everyone has all the pertinent information and anything that you have heard that the Tremere have discovered in the meantime of what's gonna happen.
Bad shit. To summarize quickly.
Kurt actually smiles. Didn't think you had it in you. Well done. But do go on.
There's not a complete understanding of what powers they potentially may bring to the table, and they can be just about as varied as kindred powers.
I'm aware of the general idea. We'll bring William in to discuss the magic part of it.
Yeah, so what exact part do you want me to...
Your encounter with them, any impressions you have of them, anything that might give clue to their intent, their plans, their angles of attack. I want
Well,
to
they seem
know
to be
what they're
quite-
planning.
Well, breaking in the middle of the day suggests that they don't... that this could be used again, that they wanted to know of people in the city and had generally any disregard for any mentions of diplomacy or that the possibly going to be former Prince Vivian would be welcome to talking to werewolves rather than just with them, was abjectly dismissed by the werewolves. They did not come looking for not a fight. And they do truly believe, and I mean truly, that what the Chantry is built on is theirs by right, and that they shall take it, and that they only have the option of force to take it.
I mean, they're not wrong. William isn't gonna give it up. Right. Any suggestion of just how many we might be looking at?
That would be more somebody who would be schooled in the, but I don't know the power of the Chantry and how important the site is, given how the werewolves were, and with one trying to breach the Chantry nodes, then managed to shrug off tentacles when they probed it while the former prince was inside. They mean a serious amount of business, and I would definitely get somebody who is very well acquainted with them to try to work out the exact number and threat.
Right.
I don't feel it's just overconfidence when they say they think they can take the place by force. And this is despite trying to sell the Chantry quite highly in terms of the mention of defense, the defenses that are there, as in exaggeration, so such. I don't think it can do much more than move, rather than actually be fully morphic, but that's more for the Tremere.
And I take it you think they're still gonna be hunting you. They're still looking for you.
Oh yes, outside there was one of their things watching. Half prepared for them to just decide to bust into this meeting here and now.
Kurt
Would possibly suit their style.
reaches down, checks that his, like, one of the knives on his belt is loose in its sheath, and looks up. All right, keep that in mind.
Notably, this is why I will mostly stay within Chantry until the situation has been resolved. Any point where I'm outside, I don't think they will needlessly or wastefully try to kill me, but caution.
Very well. Well, so you're intending to stay until this is resolved?
Yes, and assist with the defense of the Chantry for the least it can do in terms of paying hospitality and.
All right. Very well then. If you do come across any more information that would be useful in resolving this, please let me know. I will arrange with William to keep a appropriate line of communication open at all times. And you're certainly invited to the Primogen meeting, given that you are involved in these events and have insight the others lack. You might be failing to push the talk.
Oh yes, I fucked that up completely, didn't I? Oh well. Yes, as long as that is that is acceptable to Mitchell, because I can imagine everything, and I don't think trying to undercut him in any way.
Makes mental note loyalty first to Mitchell, not to the city.
I mean, I don't want to piss off Mitchell as well as...
Well, I do hope you choose to attend, given that this
Of
is an
course I do
issue
hope
that
that is-
affects the whole city.
Of course, and I shall... Yeah. Words.
But yes,
Yeah,
very
I shall
well.
hope to attend.
You may go.
Thank you.
If you wish, I can
I'll
have.
bow, and I'm not sure what title to use with who at the moment. Just fucking time to leg it. Time to leave, and hopefully
Make
any
a
of the
luck
bodyguards
roll.
coming with. Can I actually when's Michelle going back to the chantry?
You don't know, but she gives no indication of leaving. Maybe never.
Oh god. Would it be acceptable if I was to be within the tower until this time there were more combat-worthy people leaving for the
I will
chantry?
have... Since we're having a meeting with William next anyway,
Oh, good.
Vincent and Dougal can escort you back.
Oh, good. Thank you. Bow and... Oh, good. Is Dougal going to get killed just before downtime? Who knows?
Give me a luck roll.
Hey, it's a 6 again.
Okay.
Yay for 6s.
I need to check something.
No, wait.
No, that thing. Roll. Oh, nice. Gregory, as you're getting into the car, a single shot rings out and hits you in the kneecap.
Well, oh, fucking day then. Going to spend bloods to heal that while in the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can roll soak on that. That is bashing. They're effectively letting you know they
Oh,
haven't
good.
forgotten about you.
Yeah, I know you hadn't forgotten about me, you fucks.
Why, but I keep insisting on heavy guards.
Yes, it's gonna. What do you think? Why do you think I just like traveling around with Dougal?
Yeah, so you take 2 bashing from that and you're able to just heal it. The Tremere do keep
Yeah.
you fed.
Well, I've got my herd in there as well, so
Well, some of
knows
it.
where.
I don't think there's enough room to comfortably house all the ghouls and all the herd, so it has to come and go, I think.
what, do we care about the herd for comfort?
I mean, you don't necessarily, I'm just saying it's a lot of space with 4 dots of herd. That's like 30 people.
Fair enough. Jack, do you have a basement?
It's where he keeps his good stuff.
Multiple, I think.
Okay. Do you
Jack,
have
you
a
have
sub-basement?
30 people to feed and keep somewhat decent. They came with Lambert.
As I said before, I need to increase my stores.
So, yeah, you can keep like 4 inside.
We need to just start doing excavation. Just give me some Wait, black tentacles just smashing at the ground to dig. That's going to be great.
The bottom level of the
Multicolored tentacles.
chantry, in like a cave, 4 or 5 floors down, is the actual node. So no, you can't dig down there.
Yeah, please don't.
You can't even go
Okay,
there.
no.
It's all, you
No,
know,
no,
like
no.
floored over. The ancient stairway leading down there, no one's been there in 50 years.
There's just one werewolf stuck down there, having hidden during the initial fight, and is just kind of bored.
Oh no, they're dead. This thing got here a long time before that.
Died of old
Yeah,
age.
like 100. Yeah.
So, William, you get an invitation to go to meet the new prince.
I gracefully accept.
Meet the new prince, same as the old prince.
Okay.
You mean the old prince?
I take it you bring an escort of Tremere guards with you?
Yes,
How many?
definitely. 3.
Okay. I see. Waving it in everyone's face, are you?
I'm worried about my safety, okay?
Mm-hmm. So, the doors open, you march in, and seated on Alan's chair with some improvements, in fact, is Kirk. Win next to him, and Michelle apparently part of the new regime in some way.
I look a bit surprised at Michelle, but look at Kurt back. Evening, my prince.
William, please take a seat.
Thank you. Sorry about the guards, it's just the werewolves have been
Yes,
attacking those near the Tremere.
I know. Gregory was worried about it as well. Tuchel's actually gonna leave. Whisper between the two. No, actually, pale English fuck got shot in the knee as we were leaving, so there's definitely.
By the way, Vivian was going to, if there was nothing going on, check on them, but it was probably going to be well after they were supposed to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know.
Select.
So Vivian maybe saw the blood around the pants, but
So, first things first, I have decided that Michelle will serve as sheriff. I hope you will not have an issue with her taking up duties outside the chantry.
No, she may go with my blessing.
Good, then on to the matter at hand. Why don't you give me a quick rundown of what we can expect from the werewolves. Sicard has given me some information, but I would like to hear your view on this.
Would I have had time to do some research on these werewolves?
You may make me a intelligence occult at 7 with your 3 dice of library as bonus dice. So 15. Okay.
I have creative, but I don't think it applies.
Yeah, sadly it doesn't, but looking through the books, it's... This is obviously very, very, very bad. But the one thing that you do uncover that could be interesting is that you are pretty sure this is not originally a Shadow Lord's cairn. So you could use that as argument in some negotiations that they do not, strictly speaking, have as solid a claim on it as they might think.
Yay! I thought about that, but I didn't think they'd care. considering they usually don't negotiate with vampires.
They might not, but it's still something to, possibly attack at some point. Other than that, it's hard to tell what the current state of the Garou nation might be. But at the same time, the world isn't that nice a place with the Cold War and paranoia and horrible stuff in people's psyches being around, so you'd think they might be busy dealing with the spirit world to some extent, so that's another little ray of hope. They might not be able to bring quite the whole hammer of the gathered might of the continent down on you.
Yeah, and they still have all the aggravations between the pure tribes and the wormcomers.
Oh yeah, that too. So yeah, it's enough to get a general gist of not just the stuff you knew, but the obstacles that they are effectively facing. This is still gonna be bad, but it might go from, oh gods, we're all dead, to maybe we can win this.
Yeah. So, I'll put it simply, the situation is quite dire. Considering the power of the magical node beneath my chantry, they will likely bring around like 100, possibly even 200 werewolves to fight us.
Michelle crosses herself.
And while I'm pretty sure, due to the state of the supernatural world that they have to deal with, it probably won't get as bad as like 200 of them. The situation still isn't great for us, considering we aren't exactly that large a city.
Yes.
But it's still winnable, considering the fortifications on the Chantry and us being able to prepare a lot more than an invading force.
Let's see. Well, that suggests to me one very simple truth. Under no circumstances can we afford to fight fair.
Indeed. We must break them apart bit by bit, and we can't afford to take them on head on.
Right. Well, there's other things to consider. For one, arguably, Houston owes us a lot. And I'm sure that the Cameral as a whole would not wish this city to fall to lupines of all things.
Indeed, we should be able to get reinforcements if we word things correctly.
Well, I suppose I will leave the magic to you for the time being, but we should devise a way to communicate quickly and easily between other parts of the city and Chantry, especially since the werewolves are most likely gonna be watching the Chantry first of all.
Indeed, there are some rituals that come to mind just off the top of my head, and I might be able to devise some of my own. So it should be possible to do so with magic or with conventional means like phones, but those lines will probably be cut at some point. And I believe they have some supernatural ways to dissuade technology from working.
Meanwhile, a glasswalker pack in the amber near the chantry. No, telephone spirit, you need to tell us what they speak of. Listen, we will sacrifice a phone to you every week. Just tell us.
Exactly.
Well, we will be discussing this in more detail, I suppose, in the Primogen meeting, so you're certainly welcome to attend.
Thank you. It will be my pleasure.
Indeed. All right. Thank you for coming, and I suppose no other details stand out in what you've discovered so far. Then,
Out of character, I think that was it. As far as things that I care to share.
okay, fair enough. Hey then I think we can move on to the meeting. So, Primogen meetings. Taking bets now on how many people frenzy.
3.
I got 2.
I say probably none.
You. I see you're an optimistic person.
I try to be.
He's Kenzie along. Both the Venture are gonna be there, because I think we agreed that each Primogen could bring like one representative.
Yep.
Walda, who would Walda bring? Walda's gonna have Byron standing right behind her.
I knew it!
Just a little subtle
Meet the
threat.
Malk Enforcer.
Or a not so subtle threat.
Could I suggest to my Primogen to bring Alexandra?
Sure. And you're gonna be there anyway.
Well, yeah, but I think she should be there.
Sure.
Huh. Can I bring the alligator?
You could, but I'm not sure how the rest would react. Do you want to?
Hmm. Nah, I'll bring out our clanmate. The best at fighting.
So, who, Sergio?
Yeah.
Hey, Sergio it is. And everyone, why don't you give me your suggestions on how Jyhad should end, given his perfidy?
I want the gargoyle.
Okay, write in chat. We will roll.
I think Hunter is a fitting end for an elder vampire, considering the future events of the timeline.
Who? Jackalor? Hunters?
Yeah, hunters. Since later on, this is like the era when hunters start becoming a lot more common. Not quite yet, but it's starting.
I got nothing, just roll.
Okay, who wants to take Demi's pick? And what about you, Lambert?
I'm not
Take
sure.
Demi's pick.
I can't think of a better one, so
So write a worse one.
no, but that doesn't make the one options worse. I like these options.
Wait, no, I got one.
Oh, damn it. Okay. Delete that then.
You can't delete messages in Roll20.
Yep.
Damn it. He got eyes by his old spa friends. Okay. So just on mine, just the first one. Jeez. Okay.
Okay. So, I think it's Kurt's roll, since it's his clan. I'm gonna roll on his behalf.
Masquerade.
Kurt kills it.
Okay. So, you're all gathered here, and Sicard enters last, splattered in blood, followed by a deeply unhappy Sophia. Everyone kind of just watches him. He just casually walks up and takes a seat in torn clothing and splattered in blood. She just immediately makes her way around and goes to Kurt, starts whispering in his ear. And you can hear this clearly. Anyone else that has Auspex on can probably as well. Yes, you can drag yourself on. Wait, Mitchell should be here as well. I forgot to add him.
Auspex 4 over here.
Yeah, you.
Ah.
Yeah.
Aspect 3.
Where's Mitchell? Damn it. I assume he's going to be there, so let's
I think
hide
that means
behind him.
every player has Auspex. Now that I think
Yep.
about it.
Every player, but not Gregory. He has one perception and it will stay that way.
Okay, so she is gonna lean in and whisper. She's gonna say, there were some black people, and I quote, bothering that poor white woman. So he decided to rip into them in the middle of the street. They're dead. The woman is knocked out and tied up in a basement right now. I took care of it. He was just gonna leave them there. Kurt slowly looks up, looks Sicard in the eye and says, this true? Sicard just replies with, what? No! Course not! Just drums his fingers on the table. Uh-huh. I thought we had a talk about this white savior shit. Sicard, realizing the lie isn't working, proceeds to tell Kurt that they were uncivilized brutes and they don't count as people. And he did what he had to do to uphold civilized society. Kurt does not seem happy about this.
Yes, Jack Lord should be a frenzy tick for me.
That's a frenzy tick for a lot of people. For some more than one. Kurt smashes his fist on the table. You know? I gave you a chance. The Justicar! The damn Justicar gave you a chance. It was your last fucking chance. You're blood hunted. If you're in the city by morning, you're dead. Justicar starts to roll for frenzy. And given that I think for him this is public humiliation, that's at 9 plus 1. As it should be. He tries to leap at Kurt.
Dougal! Can you torpor him?
So that's that's first frenzy of the evening. Had like 3 on his initiative, so did Kurt, if I recall correctly.
Should I be rolling as well?
We're not gonna play out the entire combat.
Okay.
You can
This is more or
definitely.
less building a picture for how this ends up going.
So, you know, those players who wish to join in may roll to see who gets to act first.
I'll add my path of the focus.
Dougal is in my place. Go forth, Dougal.
Yeah, I'll roll my path of the focused mind now. Holy shit.
Nice.
Okay, Dougal.
That's 7 to my initiative.
Okay. But yeah, you definitely would have been invited, by the way, Demi.
Oh, I should
What?
probably roll my blood pool.
You're invited, Demi. Come to the
Oh, you-
parlor.
I mean, yeah, I'm invited, but I have nothing to offer here. I didn't bring a gun.
Oh, that's
I wonder if
perfectly
Good,
fine.
you're in my same boat. Let us rely on the more combat-focused people.
Right?
Wald is probably showing off her new cane.
Is it a good cane?
It's a good cane.
It's a good cane. Yeah, boy.
It was a really good game.
Always say, you roll first, or you are able to act first, so we're not gonna do the whole reverse thing to save time, so you react first. What do you do?
I would just go at him and chop him with my machete.
I'm assuming you didn't have weapons out, given that this is an Elysium, at least until the meeting is over.
Okay, I take out my machete and go to chop at him.
Okay, so
I
that
need to-
will involve splitting on this round.
Yep.
Okay. William, what do?
Well, I'd first like to roll my blood pool. That's 1d10 plus 5, right?
Plus 10 for 7 chance.
They're just burning the same freaking bit of soil.
You spent 1 on focus mind, so you're at 15.
Yep. I think I'll go and... I think I'll just go blood boil him.
Okay, make a roll for it. He probably has like
yeah.
potence activated for the leap.
Oh, shouldn't we have Olivose roll his to take out the machete first?
He can roll that, but go ahead and roll your attack. Well, that's one way to show you're impartial. To kill your own clan's primogen in the first primogen council meeting.
Happens.
That is one way to do it.
What is the difficulty for taking out my weapon? It's 4, right?
Yeah, it's 4.
Yep, it's 4. Dex melee.
Okay, then I still have 5 dice to hit him.
Will you be activating potence?
No.
Well, before that happens,
Yeah, your splitting means that you actually attack after everything goes through.
he goes
Oh, yeah.
leaping at Kurt.
Yep.
So that's a bit of bashing. Total of 5, in fact. Kurt has like 6, so, because he has 42. No, he has 5. I didn't level 42 that hard. Okay, yeah, he takes nothing from that. Gregory.
Is it clear that damn it, what did that do? Did he?
Kurt declared a blood hunt. Jyhad frenzied and attacked Kurt.
No, but what did
He's grappling Kurt. Looks like he's gonna go for a bite.
No, but the complete. Was that trying to shoot, or was that afterwards? Because Jackal's decided, oh yeah, just going to use magic in here. I can just use magic here and there. Yeah, else I'm just going to stand back until somebody fucks up.
Jyhad did fuck up.
Fail.
So, he's already in a frenzy and attacking the prince right after being declared excommunicate traitores to the city.
Well, okay then.
He,
Manipulation.
he's an outlaw. You're free to fire.
Oh. Yeah. Now, time to roll like 0 tentacles.
We have hopes for better.
Okay.
See? 3 tentacles. Much better.
3 tentacles.
Well, go ahead and roll your 2 hits.
So there are 4, 5.
Why are you rolling at 8?
Because summoning tentacles.
Tentacles are at
58.
7 though.
7.
Oh, they were
Okay,
7.
whoops.
Reroll.
No, that's yes. Yay.
Time to roll 0
Uh-huh.
now.
Or a botch.
Oh shit! It's a real botch!
Yeah, it's a triple
It's
botch.
minus 3 tentacles. Let's. What does that even do?
They are
This is
red.
very bad. Top 10 is very bad to botch on.
Ooh.
Yep.
Well, there's now 3 tentacles, but they might be trying to kill the prince. So.
Oh no, not with that roll. So, Gregory, give me a strength athletics roll. As the tentacles spawn from a maw that opens by the pillar and is trying to pull you towards it. You're gonna need to accumulate some successes to escape without getting chomped on. Effectively, you have 3 turns if you don't get an appropriate amount of successes on strength athletics, and well, it's gonna be
What
unfortunate. Difficulty is 6, but you have 3 rolls and you need to get a suitable amount of successes.
When am I allowed to spend blood?
Not on the
Not
first roll.
every
After
round.
that, you can start buffing. No, that's
Well,
wrong.
Fucked
It-
up the thing there.
It's strength athletics at 6.
Yep, except I've got lazy.
That was
Okay,
a 7.
so that's one
Oh.
success.
No, it's not. That was difficulty 7.
Yes, because I've got lazy, so that's one extra difficulty. Unless it's planned. So it was 6, so it
Oh wait, you have the flaw
lazy trait.
Oh.
Exactly what I said. So next round, spend 2 points of blood and do 3.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Can I spend willpower?
No, this is just a, oh my god, the shadows are trying to drag me into hell.
I mean, that sounds the perfect time to use willpower.
But yeah, this is a pure strength thing. So you have one more roll. If you get a total of 5, you avoid damage completely.
Well,
If you don't,
blood?
it's gonna get unfortunate. Okay. So,
Hey.
somehow, you manage to twist around and it just shears the tip off your nose as the portal closes, as well as a large chunk of your clothing that's now in tatters.
Does this happen while everybody else is dealing with, or is just
Yeah.
staring at the
Yeah,
giant
people
maw?
were turning around just in time to see you pull away from the maw of nothingness.
I'm pretty bad
This
at saying-
tower is now worm tainted, at least this room.
Oh,
That's-
good.
That
Maybe excused. I need to go to the restroom a second, and he's going to go to try to tidy up the tatters of the clothing. Get a
yeah.
other ghoul somewhere to just go. Hey,
You
give me
will
this.
handle that in a second. We need to finish the glorious fucking. So Kurt's plan here was rather simple. Sure, people. Sigurd jumps him. That's fine. Fuck it. He expected that when he saw Sigurd lose it. So just accept it and be ready to bite Sigurd with potence from the crappier position in the grapple. So that's potentially 5 aggravated there. Whereas
Remember Dougal.
Dougal is splitting between drawing his blade and attacking.
Okay.
So, I know. I had 3 fortitude. So he doesn't soak any of it. Kurt just ripped him open. Fangs going through his jaw and skull.
Palawasi, go forth.
This fucker. The machete is +2, right?
Yes.
It is.
Common bot machete is 2. Did you
Okay.
spend blood on potence?
Nope.
Okay.
I
Roll.
That I had potence.
Truly the paragon of Clan Nosferatu.
I never did a combat with him. I thought he only had obfuscate.
Okay. Was that damage on your part, Bacon?
Yes.
Okay. So effectively, with everyone who's jumping on him now, he's gonna be ashes. Gonna get ripped to pieces. Meanwhile, Gregory in the corner is asking to please be excused as you feel the unnatural cold wash over you. You're just... Well, actually, Jyhad would have gotten one attempt to chomp in with his one celerity action. Because he is higher initiative than Dougal and Kurt, who finished him.
One shot to the
Did
throat.
he celerity
The
action?
friends.
He probably celerity action.
Yeah,
didn't he?
he
That's
spent
probably what
one.
happened. That's right. Okay.
Actually, how many people is he engaged with at that point? You know,
Dougal hasn't quite hit yet.
honestly,
Awasi did.
this is gonna come down to Mitchell, and if he can summon tentacles without fucking up in a similar way. But yeah, honestly, I don't think a lot of people are gonna... There should be enough people to get high enough initiatives here, so... Okay. Well, 4 tentacles with 8 dice of lethal on each. It's... yeah, no, not a chance. Kurt's safe.
Hello, 9 plus like 5 difficulty.
Yeah, that, and just tentacles shredding him. So just this churning pit of darkness and death and ashes spewing everywhere. It's like he's fed into a wood chipper. Kurt casually brushes himself off. He's still sitting in the chair. Wipes his mouth. So, Sophia, if you would take the Bruja seat at the table, we can proceed with the meeting.
Vivian looks sad.
Olwase looks happy.
And he's now on Vivian's shit list. Byron, who's taken Zulu form casually behind where the fight was happening, kind of awkwardly starts shifting back. Right, I'll just go over there. Thank you. Bye.
Give him a thumbs up.
And he is already face palming. So many times before it's ended like this. Not with the killing, but with the frenzying and the fighting.
All right, on to the real meeting.
So, gentlemen, we have discussed this previously, but for formality's sake, if you could all log your vote in terms of me taking over as prince. I'm gonna give Kurt an appearance intimidation roll. Yeah, no, casually just brushing off a Bruja elder leaping at you. That's worth a few points, apparently.
Sadly, I don't think I'm actually part of the voting process. At least, I don't think Vivian would think she would be. This is supposed to be the other people's deal.
Yeah, it kind of is.
So, yeah, I don't get to say anything here. Go forth.
I don't know how Walda would react to this. But the others, who would be the first to support him? I think Daniel and Andy, given this display.
I would go just after them. I just don't want it to be the first one.
Okay. Mitchell follows, as does Sophia at the same time, and Andrew and Leonard at more or less the same time. Walda looks around, looks at Kurt, shrugs her shoulder, and says, "You wouldn't believe me if I did. I'm not gonna pretend, but you're, well, welcome to the seat if that's the will of the city."
I give Valda a thumbs up. Good job. Funnily enough, this means Kurt actually failed as far as a comparison to my meeting in a way.
You know,
He didn't get unanimously voted in.
It's true, but
Minus one member.
But he does have this. Actually, he has this. He has more members because you did not get the Ventru vote. They never arrived.
I know, but he didn't get the Bruja vote. They died, like the Ventru.
Sophia is there, and she's sitting in the Bruja seat.
I don't think that makes her the Primogen, sadly.
That's good.
Pretty sure it doesn't happen quite like that.
It doesn't, but I think you know the city well enough that among the Bruja, she's pretty much the most respected.
Almost guaranteed to be the next.
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's a
my point still
formality.
Let the record show there was one dissenting voice in Kurt's rise. Not really even dissenting, just not really gonna vote for you.
Just a picture of Black Void with a Kia seat screaming, trying to pull away from it as he's being consumed. An elder being cut down. Artist's impression of the ascension of Kurt Wade to Princedom of New Orleans. The Crocodile God approves. Well,
see, Kurt, this is what I had to deal with all the time.
I am well aware. I was the sheriff. I know these.
I was speaking out of character. That wasn't in character at all.
Yeah, no, so was that. But you know. Right. So, other than that, unfortunate interruption. He leans back in his chair and nods towards Michelle. I have decided to appoint Michelle as sheriff. Given that, given her skills and her past record, I think she should serve as a appropriately neutral arbiter of justice and in terms of enforcing order. But on to the matters at hand, and at this point, Gregory, after having hastily dressed, is coming back in. We have an issue with a potential werewolf incursion to discuss. Also, it seems that the Tremere clan and the Jyhad that so recently visited us have seen fit to grace us with William's return.
I want to start an applause there, slowly.
I think everyone's just gonna look at you.
I think Leonard kind of claps like 3 times, and even he stops and it just turns to look at you.
Oluwase was
His 3 claps.
Jesus Christ.
Oluwase was going to start to clap, but when he sees that nobody's doing anything, he just looks confused and does nothing.
Truly the worst applause ever. Welcome back, Premier.
William, if you would, please, why don't you give us a rundown of the situation so far?
Well, from my understanding, recently 3 very powerful werewolves arrived in the city as a scouting force to test out the city and to learn about to learn more about the chantry. Now, it is my belief, which is grounded in fact, that it's very likely these werewolves are going to bring more of their kind, possibly up to 100 or 150 werewolves. And I believe, and with the aid of the other nearby Camarilla cities, we should be able to hold them back if we prepare properly and take them down one by one rather than taking them head on.
Given the situation, and I will expect you to spread this throughout your clans, I expect everyone to secure their sleeping places, since they have shown a willingness to and the ability to track vampires down and attack them during the day, as well as I want every vampire to look into acquiring ghouls, people they can trust and who they're willing to commit to fighting these creatures. We will at the same time work to acquire an adequate supply of silver to hopefully build up our strength sufficiently to be able to give them a very, very bloody nose if they try anything. The room is still kind of shocked at 150 werewolves.
Oluwase will raise a question. Is need for ghouls can be acceptable if my clan has only alligator ghouls?
Kurt leans slightly forward, looks at you, and says, it's acceptable, provided you can train them to guard you appropriately during the day. I suggest you work together with the Gangrel clan, who have similar plans already. Daniel looks at you across the table. It would be a pleasure to work with you.
I just nod at him.
Mitchell kind of is looking at the place where the ashes of Jyhad are still settling. So, since he's dead, where do you plan to get all that silver from? Kurt just gives him a murderous glare. William, would your clan be able to perhaps provide another thaumaturge able to conjure silver, as Sigurd was able to?
I mean, with Michelle as the sheriff, I will definitely be looking to gain more guardians for the chantry. So it's possible and maybe even probable that we'll be able to acquire another enchanter.
Excellent. Obviously, we are gonna have to work to secure not just our own havens, but places of community importance. In particular, the Elysiums, this tower, and of course any strategic locations, like for example the Nosferatu sewers that are the closest to werewolf-held territories. Though as far as I understand, those places are already somewhat fortified. Some of them at least, to varying extents. We have a window of opportunity, gentlemen. The werewolves haven't gathered an army yet. So we can prepare and hopefully avoid conflict until we are ready to fight it. Let's not waste this time and make good use of it.
As my clan is the closest to the werewolf front, we can use the sewers as stage of operations to launch raids on the werewolves.
Voting against ever going down in the sewers.
It's gonna be fine. Yeah, one of Gregory's servants, by the way, is currently sitting in the car in his underwear.
Yep.
Just for clarity's sake as to where the clothes came from.
Yep, that was the plan. That was the plan.
So I think at this point we can abstract the meeting, other than a couple of pronouncements. Right. In Elysium, no one is allowed to use disciplines except anyone directly authorized by the keeper, with the understanding that he's going to use that for the sake of maintaining order. And the prince, the seneschal, Vivian, and the sheriff. So effectively just the establishment. And, you know, the local keeper. And he also says that effectively, you know, don't be surprised if there are random tests to try and catch people in the act. So don't fucking do it.
Okay, so that means that I need to ask permission to obfuscate. I just look at the keeper of the Elysium.
Ignore him.
Waldo is gonna lean out over the table, wave at you. Benjamin?
Yes?
Can I please drive people insane in the Elysium?
No.
please?
No.
Please?
I just sort of like look to the side and just go, no.
Okay. She turns to Daniel. Hey, Daniel. Daniel. He turns to her. Can I please... For fuck's sake! This is Kurt. Can you at least wait until after the meeting? Gods, and
Vivian was in the middle of giving Benjamin a thumbs up.
right. Oh, right. And Kurt was gonna ask if William is able to produce more mirrors for easy transportation.
There's current for the current power of the ritual, there's a range limit of 1 mile, unless it is connected to a node of place of power.
So we can use the Chantry as a transportation hub then.
If the place the mirror is connected to is within 1 mile, yes.
But okay, forgive me if I'm wrong, but the Chantry is constructed atop such a node, yes?
Yes, but the both ends have to be connected to a node to be able to.
I
transport
see.
a long distance.
So you want us to steal the other nodes onto the other cans?
That would probably give the werewolves more ammunition for creating a larger crusade.
They're taking all the holy places!
So, future projects.
I mean, if you take the other nodes, then at that point, all the Auspex users just see a vision of the technocracy shaking hands with wolves in the node. Just saying, we'll exterminate you later. For now, the vampires.
Might not be the best. The vision becomes more pronounced. We start seeing what were thought to be extinct species also joining in.
Okay. But yeah, effectively at that point, the rest of the meeting comes down to logistics. Who is willing to provide what? Whether people are, willing to provide money, who might be best to go talk to other Camarilla cities, etc., etc., etc. And other than 2 of the council members annoying the prince, this is relatively calm for a Bruja princip. Only 1 death on the takeover, and that one was an idiot, so pretty damn peaceful. It's like they've learned. It's like they've learned.
So,
I think they only needed to take the time out like once that night.
can we consider that my contacts are from the silvers of the city that I worked last? So would be Springfield and another city. Contact with the Nosferatu from there.
That is perfectly fine.
So I bring it to the table if people want to get contact with the other Nosferatu, to maybe 45 more places with traps.
Yes, traps. It would be beneficial, and this is Kurt speaking, perhaps, if we're gonna secure some places with things like gators, if we seized control of the city's animal control services. To maintain the masquerade. Wow, no one's volunteering. I take it none of the players want that.
Want
I'm
what?
out of manpower.
Animal control services.
Not really.
It sounds like a job for the gangrel.
If my clan had more hands available, I would offer to
You
do
can't
that.
even do your own bloody domain at the moment of infrastructure. Let's be blunt.
Yes, that's my point. I can't do anything.
I mean, Vivian's going to, of course, bring up the things that is publicly known about her having contacts in other cities, things like that. As far as possible other things, I was actually going to talk about that with Kurt in a little while, but
Yeah, when you bring that up, he's gonna mention that it is his intention that you should coordinate the diplomatic corps.
we're going to have a core. Wow, okay, going military.
But just,
right.
You decide who goes to which city to speak with the locals and try and get support. You'd probably be
Okay,
best
that sounds pretty
equipped
cool.
to, do that anyway. And all the while, 4 armed people are behind the chairs just sending a message that sure, you could try and pull that shit. But Dougal's right there. So are a couple of Bruja and the new sheriff. You go right ahead. You saw what happened to Jyhad. Okay, well, I think that covers the things that happen in this meeting then. And we can take a convenient break here, because I think this is a good natural spot. And then we can start actually doing some downtime actions.
Okay,